be. But first, let's talk about the top 5 for producing. Well, you've designed your QR code. Now it's time to use it. First and foremost, provide a purpose. You heard Sky touch on this earlier. The QR code, really to be successful, it needs to link to quality content. You need to give people a quality reason to scan in the first place. Don't use QR codes as a throwaway. Really think about how you're building it into your programming, because you're asking your users to take a specific action. You have to pay it off when they do. We'll give you some very specific content ideas that do this very well coming up in just a few minutes.
Next up, give a clear call out. We talked about putting a graphic on the lower third, informing your audience on why they need to be scanning this and what it's going to take them to. Have your host, your anchor, who's ever leading your production on camera, give a clear call to action. Hey, call out this QR code. Maybe you missed it. It's in the bottom left corner of our screen if it's not a big full screen graphic. Or hey, scan this QR code, pull out your phone. I've even seen really cool examples where the host will pull out their own phone and pretend to scan it themselves. So give a clear call to action and identify it on screen. Don't just throw it up assuming everybody's going to see it there.
Next up, seems straightforward, but give your audience time to scan. This is probably one of the biggest things where we see people go wrong. They pop up the QR code, they've got a great purpose, the image is beautiful, it's not on screen long enough. And nothing is more frustrating to a viewer at home who doesn't have time to take out their phone and get to where you're wanting to send them. So keep it on screen. How long? At Tagboard, we'll recommend no less than 30 seconds. But the most important is to test it out yourself. Pop it up on screen. If you cannot, get your phone out of your pocket. Open your camera app, point it at the screen, zoom in, and get to the destination in time. Neither can your viewer.
Number 9 on our list and 4 on producing, program around it. Consider when it makes sense in your program and you want people to scan the QR code, but when they do, you have to understand they're going to be a little distracted from your programming. So you need to almost presume that they're going to miss some content immediately after that call to action that you give them. So does it make sense maybe before you're tossing to a commercial break? Hey, scan this QR code, vote on our poll, take the trivia. When we come back from break, we're going to give you some answers or we're going to show you the results. Or maybe it makes sense at the end of a show where you're going to ask them, hey, stay connected with us outside of our standard production hours.
And last but not least, don't go QR overboard. Be mindful of how often you are using QR codes to avoid giving your viewers QR code fatigue. Look through your show, your rundown, and really find those moments that are going to be added value so that at the end of the day, when you do it, your users actually pull out their phone and scan.